Today's podcast sponsor is Blinkist. Blinkist is the only app that takes the best key takeaways, the need-to-know information from thousands of nonfiction books and condenses them down into just 15 minutes. Not only can you read them in 15 minutes, you can also listen. I love listening to the Blinkist app when I'm working out. Right now, for a limited time, Blinkist has a special offer for the Ordinary Vegan community. Go to Blinkist, blinkist.com/ordinaryvegan to start your free 7-day trial. Hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
You're listening to the Ordinary Vegan Podcast, where we teach you everything you need to know about adopting a plant-based diet full or part-time. Our goal is to empower you to live a long and healthy life. You can find today's show at ordinaryvegan.net or on iTunes. If you have any questions, please send an email to questions@ordinaryvegan.net.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Ordinary Vegan Podcast, number 50. What is joy and how joy can improve our health? If we haven't met, my name is Nancy Montori, and my number one goal is to teach you the long-term health benefits of a plant-based diet so you can enjoy a long, healthy, happy life that is kind to the environment and kind to animals. Today, I also want to talk to you about the bigger picture, because health and wellness isn't just about the food we consume. Well, here we are in the new year of 2019, and I'm so excited to begin my third year of podcasting and my 50th podcast. I love the new year because it gives us hope for new goals, new achievements, and of course, new beginnings. Also, January is one of my favorite months in Southern California because of the weather. Every night, there is a brand new, beautiful cotton candy sunset that can take your breath away. And because of the rain in January, the air is so clean and cool this time of year, and I get to wear cozy sweaters and scarves. I even turned the heat on a few times this month. So fall arrives late on the West Coast, and contrary to what most people think, there are seasons in Southern California. They are just a little later and a little more subtle. Fall has always been my favorite season, and there is something about the season that always reminds me of my first kiss. I was 12 years old, and it was a beautiful, cold autumn night. It was only about 6 p.m., but it was already getting pretty dark, and I was late for dinner. My father was extremely strict in those days, but that night, I was willing to take the risk because I was sitting in the park with the first love of my life, Frankie Secatori. Frankie and I didn't talk much, but I didn't mind because I talked enough for both of us. So we were just hanging out in this ugly gray concrete barrel that they used to have in parks. And it was kind of a challenge to sit in it because the barrel was round. We had to balance our feet on one side of the wall and our back on the other. And that concrete was intensely cold. But I loved sitting in that barrel, and I hung out there all the time. It was a perfect place to escape, and it felt cozy and private. So that night, me and Frankie were just sitting there quietly, both knowing we had to go home soon, when suddenly, Frankie leaned over and kissed me. My first thought was his nose was cold. My second thought was, wow, and I wanted him to kiss me again. But he didn't. He just stood up and said, "See you tomorrow," and left. I could hear the rustling sound of his corduroy pants as he walked away, and I sat there and I thought, we will probably be going steady soon. In that moment, I was the happiest girl in the world, and all it took was a simple kiss. Only if life were that easy now. Or maybe it is. I wanted to share that story because that moment brought me so much joy. And one word keeps popping up for me in the new year, and that word is joy. Joy is when you feel complete pleasure and happiness. We talk so much about living longer on this podcast, but do we ask ourselves enough? Why do we want to live longer? What is our sense of purpose that gets us up every day and makes us happy? Joy. What a perfect word. And it seems like everywhere I turn, the word joy keeps showing up in my life. And as many of you know, I'm a huge believer in paying attention to the universe when it speaks to you. Today, I heard about this woman named Marie Kondo, and she is a Japanese organizing consultant and author of the best-selling book called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Her main method of tidying up is, if an item in your home does not spark joy inside of you, throw it out. I thought, what a novel and fabulous idea that is. If it doesn't bring you joy, you don't need it. Throw it out. For example, stop right now and look around your surroundings. Are there things around you that you don't need or don't bring you any joy? Why do you possess them? What if we were to do that with everything in our life? If it doesn't bring us joy, don't participate in it. Whether it is as simple as to stop watching the news or cutting ties with people who don't bring us joy. Whatever it is, let's just throw it out. So joy is my word for 2019. We talk so much about getting well, staying well with food, but it is not just about food. It's about love, connections, and doing the things that make you happy. Many studies have shown that people who are lonely and depressed are 3 to 10 times more likely to get sick and die prematurely compared to those who have a stronger sense of connection, love, and community. For example, there was this prestigious science study done on rabbits in the Journal of Science. They studied rabbits that were all genetically pretty much the same and fed them all the same high-fat diet to see if they would get blockage in their arteries. The scientists assumed all the rabbits would get the blockages in the same degree because they were all the same kind of rabbits and on the exact same kind of high-fat diet. But that didn't happen. And when they looked into it further, they found that the rabbits who were stacked in the top cages up high got a lot more artery blockage. At first they thought maybe it was the circulation in the higher cages, but that didn't make any sense to them. Finally, they figured it out. The lab technician was short. When she fed the rabbits, she would play, pet, and talk to the rabbits in the lower cages, ignoring the ones up high because she couldn't reach them. So the scientists did another study where they took a group of rabbits genetically the same and put them on the same high-fat diet. One group of rabbits they left alone, and the other group they would pet and play with them. What they discovered was that the rabbits that were left alone had 60% more artery blockage than the group of rabbits that were petted, talked to, and played with. So, it's not just about food. It's about connection. Joyful connections are very important to our health and well-being. And it's important to examine what brings purpose and fulfillment to our lives. Start by focusing on the things that bring you true happiness. Out with the old. Today, we live in a world we can never escape. Our phones are constantly pinging us with bad news. Social media is dividing us more than connecting us. The best way to protect ourselves is to cut ourselves off from it. Only devote a certain amount of time to it, and better yet, no time to news at all. I'm not saying live in the dark. Of course I'm not. But the constant barrage of news is not healthy for anyone. My recommendation is to turn off the notifications on your phone that has anything to do with bad news in 2019. Also, examine where you spend most of your waking hours. Are you doing what you really want to do with your life? What's stopping you from taking a risk? What is the worst thing that can happen? You fail? It's okay to not be successful with every single thing you do. Take it from me. Your proudest moments should be knowing you have the courage to try something, whether it's successful or not. Some of you may be suffering from post-traumatic stress. Even if we have not endured post-traumatic stress, we are familiar with some hardship. Suffering is universal, and knowing how to access joy and hope during suffering isn't easy, but it's worth trying. In 2013, a large-scale study of over 55,000 people appeared in LOS One, a peer-reviewed journal published by the Public Library of Science. That study revealed that men who survived the Holocaust lived longer, significantly longer, than their peers who had never been under Nazi oppression. It was startling. Why would survivors of one of the most horrific events in history lead longer lives? The conclusion was that many survivors of horrific events emerge with a renewed sense of purpose and meaning in life. Other studies have looked at prisoners of war from Vietnam, like John McCain, who went on to show miraculous resilience and productivity. I hope stories like that give anyone out there hope that they are not alone and you can come back from a horrific event or hardship. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I think it starts with nurturing and loving yourself, no matter what has happened to you. And I know if you're listening to this podcast, you are already finding your way to loving yourself and making your life better. And I also have a great list of suggestions to help you. But before we get to that, I would like to recommend and thank today's sponsor, Blinkist. Almost none of us have the time to read everything we'd like to read, and that's where Blinkist comes in. Blinkist is an app that takes the best key takeaways and need-to-know information from thousands of nonfiction books and condenses them down into just 15 minutes. And you don't have to just read them. You can listen to them instead and multitask. Not only that, they have a great selection of books, including books from our favorite plant-based guru and author, Dr. T. Colin Campbell. Imagine learning all that great information in 15 minutes. Right now, for a limited time, Blinkist has a special offer for the Ordinary Vegan community. Go to Blinkist.com/ordinaryvegan to start your free 7-day trial. That's Blinkist, Blinkist.com/ordinaryvegan to start your free 7-day trial. Blinkist.com/ordinaryvegan. Thank you. Now, I want to share some suggestions to help you make your life more joyful. I know there are people out there listening that may not have close family or strong connections in their life right now, but you can change that. First, join a group. There is an app called Meetup, and there are groups that meet up and explore everything from bird watching to photography to vegan potlucks. Don't worry about being shy. Most of the people who join these groups are in the same position you are in, and they want to make connections. You could also volunteer. Volunteering can have a real and valuable positive effect on people. I know someone who volunteers at a children's hospital and holds and soothes sick babies or reads books to children with chronic diseases. In my opinion, there is nothing more powerful than a connection with a child. Perhaps you could learn a new hobby like bowling or golf and join a league, or practice your favorite hobby more. Learn yoga or practice meditation. Yoga and meditation are about oneness, really connecting with yourself, which makes it so much easier to connect with others. Here is one of my favorite suggestions. Do something kind. Bring or send someone flowers just because you will make their day, or cook them a delicious plant-based meal. Try to stop running after things that aren't going to make you happy and put more time and effort into the things that bring you joy. Make a gratitude list. Whenever you need a boost, think of 3 things every morning you are grateful for. Don't hibernate. Those who remain socially active and connected with others have a lower incidence of Alzheimer's disease. Speaking of Alzheimer's disease, there is a study making the news this week. A hormone called irisin released during exercise may protect against Alzheimer's. In this study, the scientists could induce learning and memory deficits by cutting out irisin and could reverse the effects by restoring this hormone. That is more evidence that physical activity is linked to better brain health as we age. So don't forget to exercise. And if you don't like to exercise, just take 30-minute meditation walks. Don't think about anything. Just enjoy the scenery. Last but not least, if you have people in this world who love you, cherish it and make more time for those people that love you and bring you joy. Never take those people for granted. Make 2019 the year you focus on the things that bring you the most happiness. And when you start to feel these little glimpses of joy, you will want more and more. So my goal, and I hope your goal is too, is to bring more joy to your life in 2019. Now, let's go into Ordinary Vegan's kitchen and create a simple, joyful recipe called saffron chickpeas and spinach with spicy breadcrumbs. I call it rustic cooking at its best. Unrefined and simple, but also warm and inviting. Oh, and did I mention delicious? Chickpeas, by the way, are one of the healthiest foods you can consume. They are rich in both soluble and insoluble dietary fiber, which makes them great for weight loss. Chickpeas are also a great source of protein and can boost your energy because of their high iron content. I used cooked garbanzo beans for this recipe. All you need to do is heat 1/3 cup of vegetable broth in a large nonstick sauté pan. Add 6 ounces of fresh spinach. Cover and steam until the spinach leaves are just wilted, which only takes 3 to 4 minutes. Drain the spinach in a colander and set it aside. Next, take a pinch of saffron, which is approximately 30 strands, and add 2 tablespoons of boiling water. Whisk together and set aside. Dry the sauté pan and heat 1 to 2 teaspoons of olive oil. When the oil is hot, add 1½ slices of bread, crust removed, cut into small squares of bread cubes. Toast the bread until it's golden all over and transfer it to a food processor. Next, add a 1/3 cup of vegetable broth to the same sauté pan. When hot, add 2 garlic cloves that have been chopped, a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, a 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of red chili flakes. Cook that until the garlic is soft, which only takes about a minute or 2. Transfer the garlic mixture to the bread in the food processor. Add 3/4 tablespoon of red wine vinegar and process to a paste. Return the bread mixture to the sauté pan and add 1 13-ounce carton of cooked drained chickpeas and the infused saffron water. Stir until the chickpeas are hot and have absorbed all the flavors of the bread mix and saffron water. Add a little more vegetable broth if it's sticking. Next, add the cooked spinach and cook until it's heated through. Taste and season and serve it sprinkled with a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika and lemon wedges. That is it for today's podcast. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I would also like to thank today's sponsor, Blinkist. You can find today's show notes and recipe on my website, ordinaryvegan.net/podcasts. Please follow me on Instagram and join our health and wellness community on Facebook, over 314,000 strong. Just go to facebook.com/ordinaryvegan. You can purchase and learn about the health benefits of my vegan CBD oil made from hemp at ordinaryvegan.net/shop. And if you get a chance, read the testimonials. It is incredible how much my CBD oil is helping people, and I hope it can help you, because my goal is to provide you with all the tools you need to live a long, healthy, pain-free, and anxiety-free life. If you have any questions, reach out to me at questions@ordinaryvegan.net. Thanks for listening, everyone. Till next time.
Thanks for joining our plant-based community today. Together, we can accomplish great things. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of Ordinary Vegan's recipes and plant-based tips. If you have any questions or feedback, email us at questions@ordinaryvegan.net. Until next time.